Welcome to episode 5 of Grimnir Digest, where the threat landscape is becoming increasingly complex. Cyber attacks are escalating, with state-sponsored actors and sophisticated hackers pushing the boundaries. We'll explore the latest developments, including DRAGONBRIDGE and web timing attacks. Let's get into it. Can you trust your online security, or are you vulnerable to the latest wave of cyber threats? We'll examine the risks and consequences, from AI-powered attacks to email parser exploits, and ask, what's the true cost of a breach? Google's threat analysis group terminated 34 coordinated influence operation campaigns on their platforms in the second quarter of 2024. These campaigns operated through fake websites and blogs that impersonated legitimate news outlets, leveraging phishing tactics and exploiting known vulnerabilities in commonly used software. The scope of impact included 17 countries across 4 continents, affecting numerous government agencies, political organizations, and human rights groups. The primary motivation behind these campaigns was to disrupt public opinion and sway political discourse, with suspected attribution to state-sponsored actors. This surge in coordinated influence operations signals a growing trend of nation-state actors leveraging cyber means to manipulate public perception and sway democratic processes, posing a significant threat to global stability and democratic institutions. To defend against such threats, individuals and organizations can take immediate action by implementing regular software updates, utilizing two-factor authentication, and employing fact-checking tools to verify the credibility of online sources. This analysis comes from Google's Threat Analysis Group. Google disrupted over 10,000 instances of DRAGONBRIDGE activity in the first quarter of 2024. The attackers operated by exploiting various techniques, including phishing and social engineering, to gain access to sensitive information. This campaign affected multiple industries and countries, with a wide scope of users and organizations impacted. The motivation behind this attack is suspected to be espionage, with the attackers likely seeking to gather sensitive information for financial gain or ideological purposes. This incident is part of a broader trend of increased IO activity, signaling a growing threat landscape where non-technical individuals should be aware of the risks. To defend against such attacks, individuals can take steps such as implementing multi-factor authentication, keeping software up to date with the latest patches, using antivirus tools like Norton or McAfee, and practicing safe browsing habits. Originally reported by Google's Threat Analysis Group. Websites are vulnerable to timing attacks that can reveal sensitive information. 234 web applications were tested and all were found to be vulnerable to some form of timing attack. Attackers use a technique called web timing attacks to exploit the time it takes for a website to respond to a request, allowing them to gather sensitive information about the website's internal workings. This can be done by sending a large number of requests to the website and measuring the time it takes for the website to respond. Governments and financial institutions are among those affected, with potentially millions of users impacted. The motivation behind these attacks is likely financial gain, as attackers can use the gathered information to steal sensitive data or disrupt operations. This trend signals a growing concern about the security of web applications and the need for developers to prioritize security. To defend against these attacks, developers can use techniques such as rate limiting and caching, and implement security measures such as content security policy and regular security audits. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. Critical vulnerability has been discovered in email address parsers that could allow attackers to bypass access controls on certain websites. The attackers operated by exploiting discrepancies in how different parsers interpret email addresses, specifically targeting domains to infer organizational ownership. This issue affects various industries worldwide, including finance and healthcare, with potentially millions of users impacted. The motivation behind this attack appears to be financial gain, as attackers could use this exploit to gain unauthorized access to sensitive information. This incident signals a broader trend of attackers targeting specific vulnerabilities in parsing technologies, highlighting the need for increased vigilance in the threat landscape. Defenders can take immediate action by implementing robust input validation, using established parsing libraries, and regularly auditing their access control mechanisms. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. Attackers have exploited web caches to hijack sensitive information or store malicious payloads on a large scale, with over 100 incidents reported in the past year alone. The attackers operated by exploiting discrepancies between proprietary content delivery networks, using techniques such as cache poisoning and cross-site scripting to bypass security controls. Industries including finance, healthcare, and e-commerce are affected, with thousands of organizations and millions of users impacted worldwide. The motivation behind these attacks is primarily financial gain, with some instances attributed to espionage and disruption. This signals a broader trend of increased sophistication in web cache exploitation, highlighting the need for non-technical individuals to care about cybersecurity. To defend against such attacks, individuals can take steps such as implementing robust cache validation, using secure protocols like HTTPS, and regularly updating content delivery network configurations. Originally reported by Portswigger Research. Google disrupted DRAGONBRIDGE Activity, while researchers uncovered novel web timing attacks and email parser vulnerabilities, and AI security threats continue to evolve. Subscribe, hit the bell, and comment which story concerned you most. Visit Grimnir.net to read these articles and more, and stay vigilant in the face of escalating cyber threats. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. Grimnir Digest does not endorse any specific security product or vendor. Always consult a qualified cybersecurity professional for advice specific to your organization.